Welcome to Foam Rollerama. My name is Vivian. I'll be using the short foam roller today because it's got the textures and the knobs and the nodules to help stimulate some myofascia release and a little bit of joint mobility through the pelvis and the spine. We begin with a breathing warm-up to help bring you into yourself, center yourself, and to sort of get that flow of oxygen going. Very deliberate. Inhale through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. We'll just do a few more. Clear your mind, clear your sinuses, and sit up nice and tall. Exhale and close down through the ribs. At least once more. Inhale. And as you exhale, there's a narrowing through the rib cage. I'm going to use the foam roller right away and send it forward as I dive my head down. Start by nodding your chin down towards your chest. And whether you've got a longer foam roller or a shorter one, push it forward, it'll roll, and dive your head down. I have to put my head down, you should put your head down. Take a moment and breathe, and breathe, and breathe. And then begin to come back. As you come back, your spine is stacking one vertebrae on top of the other until the head arrives last. To repeat, begin by nodding your head down first. Feel the stretch at the bottom of your neck. Keep pushing the roller forward, sinking your head down with a deep dive, and then breathe. And now begin to come back. Coming back, rolling the roller, arrive so the head is the last thing on top. Same idea with the roller beside you. I'll bend sideways, pushing the roller away. It's pretty common to want to go farther and farther because you can, but if your hips are lifting off the floor, then you're cheating yourself of a good stretch. Return upright and we'll repeat. Same side about 3 times. As you exhale, feel your body going farther and farther, but keep your butt bones rooted. Return and let's repeat once more. Typically, we would inhale on the lift and use the exhale to stretch. Notice there's plenty of space between my ear and shoulders. In other words, don't let this happen. Return. Now, I'm coming over, begin the same. Rotate, twist. I'm adjusting the roller in a minor way, just so that both of my hands are on the roller. Push-pull a few times, pushing the foam roller as if it were like a rolling pin, a dough roller. As you push out, feel that stretch, and then remove your arm and return upright. Bring the roller to the other side. As you sit up nice and tall, begin with a simple side bending stretch, and then return. Whew. It's a good thing we do about 3 or 4 of these because immediately I can feel how tight I am. Bending sideways, lengthening the arm, armpit, rib cage to waistline. As you come up and over, use the breath. I'm using the roller, and remembering to keep my hip down, and then return. This is the 4th one, so I'm coming over with a little twist at my waistline, hands on the roller as I push and pull. Each time I push, I can feel my arm lengthening. This is the arm closer to the camera, all the way through the rib cage to the waistline. Whew. On the last one, push away and remove your arm and return upright. Now, in the theory, in the textbook of myofascial release, it is basically understood that most people would say, start at the legs and work your way up. Or starting at your feet and ankles, Achilles, tendon, calves, and work your way up. There are others that say, start distal and work proximal. And essentially, that's what we're doing now. Place your ankle and calf on top of the foam roller. I'm just rolling it back and forth. Oh, excuse me. And now, I'm basically at the lower portion of my calf. If just the weight of your leg alone is not enough to affect the stretch, then you can put your other leg on top. Now, this can get a little bit tricky or cumbersome, and so it is helpful if you can lift your body. Lifting your body might be a little bit challenging because now you need arm strength. But, the rewards, the rewards of that massage at the lower end of the calves, man, it's been amplified because you're so much heavier. You want to breathe and feel like you're getting a release. And if you find a hot spot or a sweet spot, you should just sit on it for a few seconds. There's different schools of thought on this too. A few seconds or a few breaths. As much as you can tolerate, and then move on. Also, there's some theory to how many times that you roll back and forth over the area that we're targeting. Some say 4 times is enough. All right, so I'm just sharing that information. As I teach this, I'm certainly rolling many more than 4 times. My roller going forward and back, and my body doing a little bit of rotation. This is like cross fiber massaging, cross fiber massaging. Just think of it as my leg going east, my leg is going west, and the foam roller is just going north-south. I am now adjusting so that I'm at the bulb of the calf, which is the first or top part, gastrocnemius. So as you roll to the inside of the gastrocnemius, I always feel it immediately. My ankle is flexed, and I want to be really heavy for me on that inner calf. I'll roll. I'm going east as I roll. I don't get as much on my outer shin, but let me find some knobs. I've got some knobs on my foam roller. Maybe I need to double the weight. So there it is. Yeah, I can feel it now. I found a sweet spot here. Oh, I can sit on that for a couple of breaths. While we're doing this in real time, you can take a couple of breaths. If you need to go back to some place we've already done, or if you're moving ahead, feel free. So I've gone many more times than 4. All right, now I'm moving the roller to the bulk of my hamstrings. And the whole thing right here, it's like a giant meatloaf of muscle, the hamstrings. Again, rising up. Most of my body weight now heavy on that leg. If you're feeling like, this is not very effective, I'm not getting enough, you want more, then place the other leg on top as heavy as you can. Do the best you can to stay up. There's also another method where it'll alleviate the hands and a lot of the wrist. And I learned that you can prop yourself up using your forearms on a box or a chair as long as it doesn't roll away, and use this method so that I'm still heavy on my roller, but I'm not heavy on my hands or wrist. Using my couch, because it's not going to roll away, right? I won't be pushing the couch back. You want to be sure that whatever you're using is steady. Like, don't use your rolling chair, your desk chair that's got the wheels. All right, I'm going to go a little bit more to the outer thigh, a little bit of the adductors, not quite absolutely sideways, but definitely on the side of the hamstrings, the back of the legs. So here we go, a few more times. I'm coming all the way up to the subgluteal fold, and that's just where your butt meets your hamstrings, where the buttocks meet the hamstrings, subgluteal fold, sometimes called the smile, the butt smile. Everybody has to have a cute name. All right, I am going to leg number 2, starting down distal, way down at the Achilles. I found the knobs, and I can do this with just my leg weight, placing the second leg on top. Achilles tendon, lower calves, the soleus. All right, now we're talking. So as I roll back and forth in that lower region of the calf, my leg is turning. You can see by my toes pointing sideways. Then I roll my leg in the other direction. You can see the toes pointing the other direction. Cross fiber massaging, cross fiber. The foam roller is going north-south. My leg is doing a slow roll east-west. Now I want to get to the bulbous, the great big portion of the calf, the upper half of the calf. And my ankle is flexed, just mentioning that it's not a dead foot. Yeah. Ooh. So we'll do a few more. I'm on the outside, which would be mostly the shin, pretty darn close to the actual shin bone. Oof. And tibia and the fibula. And then I'll make an adjustment, so I'm a little bit on the inside calf. Yeah, I can hit that right there and feel it. Oh, I found a hot spot right there. Good gracious. All right, and so now I want to get to the hamstrings, and because I want to be a little bit better placed, I'm coming back to the couch, propped up on the forearm, and now I've got a lot of my hamstring right on the roller. I'm going to move my roller a tiny bit. Although my leg is not very long, I want to get the full length of the hamstring, all the way from just at the back of the knee, all the way up to the base of the buttocks at the, what's it called again? Subgluteal fold. The smile line, your butt smile line. I'm rolling a little to the outside. And then I can figure out a way to roll a little to the inside. Kaboom. All right, now instead of continuing up my back side, I'm now going to focus on the front of my leg face down. So I've got one shin on the roller, and this is strategically massaging not the actual bone of the shin bone, but just off to the side. You feel those muscles. And I've got my foot turned in, sort of a pigeon toe foot, if you will, pigeon toe. Maybe like a club foot, and heavy. If this is not heavy enough, you're not getting enough, then you just want to put the other leg on top. Oh gosh, who made this up? Oof. And for me, the higher up I come closer to my knee, the more I feel I need this massage. You have to decide what's the best place for you. Try to move along the whole length, from bottom to top, from ankle to knee. I'm still doing a little tiny bit of that cross fiber, but you don't want to be on the actual shin bone, on the bony bone. Stay on the meaty muscle. Oh yeah, that's a spot right there. Oof. All right, so I am changing legs, and I thought I would try it on the couch or the chair, which you can certainly try it on the couch or the chair, but that's going to make me point my butt in the direction of the camera. So I'll just let you experiment with that on your own, which means your forearms would be on top of the couch or the chair. I have to pull my pants up. All right, so I found the meat of my shin there. I'm going as full length as I can. Feels pretty good. I'm going to place the other leg on top. Oh, golly. Let me come forward a little bit. This sure feels heavy. I am heavy. Push-pull a few times. Boy. I guess depending on your mode of exercise, if you spend a lot of time on your ankles and your feet and you do a lot of running, you're fully body weighted, weight bearing through the feet, your shins are doing a lot of work. And I do a lot of stair climbing for exercise, and my shins work really hard climbing down. Oh yeah, right there. Ooh. All right. In the interest of time, we will continue. And now I'll get to leg number 1, the thigh or quads. To get the best position, the other leg looks like you're like Spider-Man. So I'll just turn over. This is still my leg number 1 on the roller, but the other leg is bent, and you're sort of feeling like Spidey, you know, in training. All right, you're doing what you can to maneuver your body the full length. As much full length as possible. Try to stay in the shot. Yeah, there we go. The thigh, unlike the hamstring, is made up of several muscles. So rolling to the left and a little bit of rolling to the right you'll actually hit some other muscles. Quadriceps femoris and vastus lateralis, and you know, there's a bunch of them. So to get to the more inner thigh area, you'll have to get that inner thigh on the roller and still maneuver your body back and forth, possibly lifting the knee toward your shoulder so that your leg and thigh move the roller itself. You'll be able to see that in a moment when I do the other leg. Ooh. Oh, so many benefits to massaging with the foam roller. So I've gone plenty of times now back and forth, and I still want to get to the outer thigh. So I am definitively lying down, and my foot is flat on the floor. It's like the motoring foot, helping you to push and pull forward and back. Near the hip bone there, the greater trochanter, and then all the way down just about to the outside of the knee. Muscles there turn into ligaments, or tendons, or fascia. Fascia is kind of like a spider web that covers and protects the muscles. You kind of know what fascia is if you eat meat and you've taken, you know, raw chicken meat apart, or you looked at the inside of a raw chicken. That white fibrous stuff that's running along or covering, cross over muscles, that's fascia. This myofascia release is you making the fascia a breaking up any hardness. I'm back to I have returned to the thigh. Time to move on. Other leg. So we started other leg, and for you, the purposes of the camera, this is my other leg now at the thigh. My Spider-Man leg is, Try to stay on the bulk of your thigh, the center, mostly the top, surface, and the full length. Yeah. Oh, I found a hot spot. So this type of myofascial release helps to promote blood circulation, oxygen circulation, breaks up lactic acid buildup, and makes the muscles pliable, but also is making the fascia pliable and thus making it stronger. I am rolling to the outer thigh. Pardon my rear end. So let's say at least 4 times full length. Find your hot spot and sit in it. All right, and then just to finish up, I'll place both thighs, because I can fit both of my thighs, right on the roller. I've got my feet elevated so I'm not dragging my toes on the mat. A few times full length, as much as your arms will allow. And then bend your knee and straighten the legs. Bend your knees and straighten the legs. Make sure that your thighs don't roll off the end of the short roller. So I am constantly keeping my thighs closed. Magnetize your inner thighs. So just a couple more times. And last one here. All right, and now when you prop down, bring the roller in front of you, and instead of thinking of it as a myofascial release, use the roller to push away, keeping your arms on top of the roller, and then your head can sink down a little deeper. Your head is sunken, but don't bang your head on the floor. I am using my legs to help push me forward and pull me back. I'm using my legs to push me forward and pull back. and I can feel the shoulder joint, the whole shoulder near the shoulder blades, the back of the shoulder. Oh, stretch. I'll go one more, pushing forward, heavy head, and then return. To get to the shoulder, I'm going to do it this way first, and then we'll lie down. My arm and my shoulder, mostly my arm, is on the roller in that position that you might call something like thread the needle. Oh, if you worked out your triceps quite hard, you're primarily on the triceps to just about the rear delts, the back of the shoulder. This might just be too awkward and too silly. That's how it feels to me, but I can also feel the benefit of ooh, ah, oh my goodness, right there. My sweet spot, right there. Oh, jeez. All right, I'm gonna flip to the other arm, change the angle of my roller. Oh gosh. So I got triceps to rear shoulders. Make adjustments. Maybe it needs to be closer. Stay heavy on it. Ooh. I also learned recently that, your forearms are very much responsible for grip. If you're lifting heavy weights, your forearms are turning into like Popeye the Sailor Man. Forearms, there's lots of great muscles there. They can also be massaged. So you can do both arms at the same time, nice and heavy, or one arm at a time and push onto it, and you can roll like thumbs down and roll palms down. Oh, this would be palms down, palms up. All right, let's try that. That's a better description. Oof. Oh, your forearm, is two bones and a bunch of muscles. All right, I'm changing arms. I started with just the single arm, the weight of my single arm, and then decided, hey, I need more. So I'm pushing down, and rolling my arm cross fiber, right? And palms down a few times, gradually turning palms up. Ooh, there's a sweet spot right there. Golly. Okay, enough of that. Woo! We'll place the roller here, so now you can lie down. You're going to place the shoulder blades on top of the roller. Let me scoot down a little bit. And careful when you lie down. You do not want to be on the bottom two ribs, because as a rib cage, the last two ribs are not attached in the front, and we don't want to lie down on them in the back because they're not secured, if that makes any sense. Anyway, my feet are lifted and I'm on the shoulder blades, and I can feel exactly where I am. The lower border of the shoulder blades to the upper part of my back, which is actually some more ribs up there, right? Oh. Use your legs to motor yourself north-south. You want to get a little cross fiber, you have to turn your body a little bit. And now I'm really heavy on that one shoulder blade. Oh, I'll go about 4 times. Oof. And then I'll come through the center. And in order to get a little heavier on the second shoulder blade, I've rotated my body a little bit. I'm very heavy on the one shoulder blade. So, massaging the area right near the shoulder blades, and now I'm back to the center. Keeping my arms up helps keep my shoulder blades open. The shoulder blades open across the back, protracted. We're not doing this massaging with your shoulder blades closed. We want the back to be wide. Kind of like if your back were like pizza dough, and you want it to sort of flatten out and be a whole one level of, piece. Your back is one piece. Holding onto your head, rescue your neck if you need to. Oh, I can really feel my shoulder blades right there. Oh. All right, I'm scooting down, landing on my rear end, putting the roller right at the base of my neck. The curvature of the foam roller is pretty close to the curvature of your neck. It's the natural curve. Allow your head and your neck to be heavy, as long as you're comfortable, heavy head on the roller. Raise your arms up toward the ceiling and notice the shoulder blades will come off the floor. Make the arms heavy now and sink the shoulder blades to the floor, and we'll just do that a couple of times, mobilizing your shoulder blades. If you weren't looking at your arms and you could concentrate on feeling your shoulder blades, you would open the shoulder blades wide and then sink the shoulder blades to the floor. The length of my arm has not changed. My arm is still straight. It's the shoulder that is lifting and lowering. Shoulder blades. All right, I'm down and down and down, and then turning my head. In slow motion, feel the effect. Feel the effect of the foam roller and the little knobs. If you have one of these, it's supposed to simulate the end of a thumb, believe it or not. So these little knobs that are on my roller are supposed to simulate as if you're getting like a thumb pressure massage. Yeah. I know way too much trivial information. I am coming off the neck so that it's just the back of my head, the occipital point of the head. You don't want your chin jammed into your chest, so make sure that you're still able to keep your head and neck supported. And then again, rolling. If you're losing the roller, then, keep a light fingertip grip on the roller. Oh. We just have one last position, which we use the position for chest expansion. And these days, chest expansion, chest openers, are so important. So enough of the lecture. Come on up to seated and place your foam roller vertically, parallel, down the middle. Oh. If you have a short foam roller, you're going to have to be strategic. I missed it. And try to get your head on the end. Just the edge of the roller and just the edge of my head so that I don't have to use my neck. I, of course, have to use my legs to lift my bum, so now I can feel my shoulder blades on the roller. Let's go back to the earlier lesson where arms are straight, and when you sink your shoulder blades down, your shoulder blades have now wrapped around the roller. And we'll do that again. Lift and lower. The shoulder blades are opening, and the shoulder blades are now down, pinch or wrapped around the roller. I'll do one more here. As my shoulder blades come all the way down, my arms can come down, down, down. Now, while I want to say this is a comfortable and relaxing position, it's not as comfortable down at the lower body because I'm still having to hold my hips up. When you lower your hips down, I'm short. My torso is short, so the edge of my foam roller is not comfortable. It's in my ribs. But I can appreciate the chest expansion. So for a moment, I'll sacrifice that I'm a little uncomfortable in my mid-back so that I can get the benefit of the chest expansion for just a couple of breaths. Avoid turning your head now. Close your eyes and imagine that you're lying down on a beach somewhere and that you're just taking in as much vitamin D that radiates from the sun as you can. Take a couple of breaths. Okay. To come out of this position, I'll raise my arm and fall off the side of the roller and then come to seated. You should feel chest expansion. So as we sit nice and tall, I'll just turn it at an angle. My arms are behind me. Feel the chest expansion. You can also do this with your hands on the floor, lean back, and exaggerate that chest expansion. It should have some freedom of movement, right? The opening of the shoulder, and then come to vertical. So being able to sit up a little taller, improving your posture, also facilitates a bigger capacity for your lungs to take in more air. It is said that you can breathe deeper or breathe easier or breathe better when you're open in the front. Keep that in mind as you take a couple of deep breaths with me. Inhale, inflate. And then as you exhale, think of yourself as narrowing or cinching at the waistline. Inhale, inflate. And as you exhale, be sure that you're not holding any tension at your neck. Free your head. All right, this will conclude your foam Rollerama for today, Thursday. The theme was myofascia release. We started from the lower end of the leg and worked our way up toward the shoulder, neck, and head, and hopefully you got something out of it. My name is Vivian. I'm signing off. You can find all of my classes on YouTube, and my YouTube channel is Fit with Viv. Sometimes I use the short roller, and sometimes I use the long roller, and all the classes are usually labeled. So, hope to see you there. When you visit me on YouTube, subscribe. See you next week. Thank you.